And now for something completely different.
Hope you can hear me. The wind is terrible. There's a horse on it. Wonder if I got a hold of another foreign coin. Well, hey there, welcome back to Kansas. It's a beautiful day here. I am on a new site that I have never dug before. It has never been dug before, I'm 99% sure. And in this video you'll watch, it's several days worth of digging. I dig bits and pieces when I can, you know. I don't get to spend days at a time. And you'll notice it's mowed. I mowed it the other day. I got permission to be here to dig, and I got permission to mow it. The owner was very nice. And that is a key word, permission. Always get permission before you walk onto someone else's land. Would you want a farmer coming to your house and digging up your yard? No, you would not. At least not without permission, right? So always get permission, always fill your holes back in. Let's get to it. Okay, well, in between this pole and that pole, somewhere halfway between, out in the field here, should be where there was a home site. It's kind of been the next one I wanted to check out, and they just barely cut the milo, or sorghum as some of you might call it. Here's what a head of milo looks like. They use that in cattle feed, and game birds love it. If you want to go hunting for quail or pheasant in the fall, look around next to one of these fields because they love to hang around there. Now all this ground cover is going to make it a little difficult, but to look for glass. And there's a tiny little piece right there. See that? And it is bitter cold. I think it's the 28th, 29th of October, and it is cold. It's unusual. What's that? Piece of a cup or something, I guess. So mainly I just wanted to find the place. Oh wow, look at that big chunk of cement. This house was still standing here in the 60s, early 70s. I don't know if it was being lived in or not. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of glass around. Piece of a battery, the core of a battery. Look at all the chunks of cement. Wow, I can't believe they just farmed right over that. Big old brick. I wonder if they'll put cows in. It's a common practice to put cows in on corn stalks and milo stalks after it's been farmed or harvested. Okay, so I had absolutely no intention of metal detecting today. I was just looking around, but of course you know how that goes. I just thought I'd run over it real quick. Now I did see something on the top of the ground here, but I can't. Oh, now it's gone. There it is. Right there. Big old rivet, I guess. Some sort. Never seen one that long. But I got onto something else here. I think it's a button. Probably an overalls button. But we'll check it out. Here, you hold that. Alright, thank you. See that? Right on top as well. Yeah, it's an old overall button. And it says can you read it? I can't read it. I'll have to figure that out later. You can probably read it. Except this camera doesn't like to do up close too well. So cool. Okay, I pulled up some kind of coin. Reading roughly like a nickel. Ooh, there's another good signal. I don't recognize it at all at this point. Can you tell what that is? I'm gonna have to study that closer. I'm guessing it's foreign. It's a big old one. Hold on. Well, my eyes are poor enough. I just can't tell. Can't even quite read the date on there. And the back is pretty crusty. So I'll get with you at the end if I find out more about it. I have a 92 on my Garrett. Normally I'd get suspicious that I had a pop can, but that looks like brass from here. It looks nice and round. Let's see what it is. I think it's just a cap. Yeah. Not sure what that would have been for. Maybe plumbing. Some kind. Nice straight piece though. Huh. Quail! Any more? There he goes. Too bad they're not in season. Almost. Okay, well I see a partial something, so I'm sure it's not a coin. It's about got to be a button. Yeah, it says something on there, but I can't read it right now. Something manufacturing company. What it was is gone. Another one for the collection. Okay, well sorry, I saw that and thought it was a shotgun shell. But it is a overall button. And let's see if I can get it. My fingers are about numb. I'm sorry, they're so stiff, but it's a Lee Union Alls. Cool. Okay, I just got a clip and I'm guessing it is Ladies Unmentionables. What do you think? I bet it is. Naughty, naughty. Well, I've been digging a lot of 22 shells, and it's so windy I haven't shared much here with you. But I got this. It looks like a piece of, I'm guessing, a handbag, a lady's purse. But I just dug, I think, a charm pendant or something. See right there? Yeah, there's something on it. Thought I was coming up with a nice little silver coin, but it's a smashed thimble. Still cool though. Better than nothing. Little spoon handle. Nice 80 signal there. I think it's just melted brass. Pretty sure. Yep. Okay, I just got a crown overall button, which is cool. There's a spoon. Wind is blowing like crazy, 20 miles an hour or better, so I may not do a whole lot of filming, and I'll just catch up with you at the end. So look at this. I suppose that's a suspenders buckle. Still moves. Still works great. That's cool. What is that? It's huge. Let me take another reading here. Low to mid 80s. I can't tell what that is. Hope you can hear me. The wind is terrible. There's a horse on it. Wonder if I got a hold of another foreign coin. Can see someone's been wearing it. Have a hole in it. Sweet. I'm gonna have to clean this bad boy up. Oh my goodness. You see what's on the back of that? A swastika on the back of that coin. Yikes. I'm less excited about it now, but it's still, unfortunately, it's a part of history. I'm gonna have to clean that up and figure out what it is. I just found a jewel encrusted brooch or something. That'll be worth cleaning up and see what that looks like underneath. I, of course, have no idea if those are real or glass, but that's cool. This is a great sight. Okay, so from this point on, the jet streams were pretty much duking it out over Kansas, and every day I was out there was windy, so I couldn't film, but I took pictures of everything else I found. And while I run through those on the screen, I was going to read to you a newspaper article I found. Now, when I dig at a certain place, I always like to look up the original homeowner and find out more information about them, and usually I get one or two mentions, maybe an obituary if I'm lucky, and that kind of gives a life story, you know. This case, this guy's name was all over the place. Now, in addition to being a farmer, he was on the township board, he was a deputy sheriff, he was justice of the peace, he sold horses and mules, and later on he became a Studebaker dealer in a nearby town. So his name was just plastered throughout the newspapers. But one interesting article I found is about his wife and an accident she had. It says, oh, this is from May 31st, 1907. It says, peculiar accident at this town. Mrs. Blank of Brown Township met with a very serious accident when coming to the city last Saturday. Her team backed off of the East Bridge, and she, with her little baby in her arms, the buggy, and both horses were pitched into the bed of the river. Fortunately, there was no water where they fell. Mrs. Blank escaped with a broken collarbone and bad cut on one arm and many bruises. The baby was badly injured, but not dangerously injured, due to the fact that the mother shielded the babe at the expense of herself. The buggy was a wreck. One horse was killed and the other seriously injured. The accident was the result of trying to pass two gentle teams on the bridge. Mr. Doe and wife were going east, and Mrs. Blank was coming to town. Under ordinary circumstances, there would have been no trouble, but Mrs. Blank, on account of one mule colt, turned to the left, and Mr. Doe's horses, not having been accustomed to going wrong, declined to depart from the middle of the track. Mr. Doe had no whip, so borrowed Mrs. Blank's, and started to compel his team to move to one side. This frightened Mrs. Blank's team, and they began backing. With no whip and a babe in her arms, she was powerless to check them, and they went through the railing and over before Mr. Doe could reach them. The buggy turned completely over and fell on the standing top, which practically protected the occupants, and fortunately the horses fell to one side. Mr. Doe jumped from the bridge and rescued mother and child from their dangerous position and brought them back to the city, where everything possible was done to make them comfortable. They are both progressing nicely toward recovery. Well, I got all the goodie out of that site, I believe. It ended up being, I think, a little bit newer than I was hoping for, at least as far as everything I dug out. But, hey, I still got some good stuff. I don't think you saw the valve stems, a little piece of chain, whole lot of brass pieces. Some I recognize, some I don't. I think that's a little half a bell off of a harness, like a sleigh bell. This is an interesting little cover with a hinge there. I don't know what it's for. There's another similar piece. Just a little thumb screw, nice brass thumb screw. Nice brass ring, that's probably off a saddle. Window sash lock. Just various things. Rivets, all the pieces of spoons, a knife. This buckle looks like a, you know, the shape of a gun belt buckle to me, but who could say? And I still have no idea what that is. There's some of the glass I collected. Got some embossed stuff and some flowery stuff. That would have been an interesting plate. And that piece of a handbag, that buckle, clock sprockets, all the different overall buttons. This is probably, I'm guessing that's a little brass ball off a horse, a harness too, you know, to make it fancy. I know in my picture you couldn't hardly see the train, and I can't hardly see it either without a magnifying glass. You see it there? It's kind of blurry. I don't know. But take my word, there's a little choo-choo on there. That's probably another brooch. It's got part of the clasp on the back there, but what was in it's missing. Them buttons. Got a set of collar studs, and then everything else I think I showed you. This being the best piece I found, that token, good luck token. The history of the swastika is actually kind of interesting. I've never really read about it before. And so yeah, go ahead and do that if you want to find out for yourself. Oh, and that watch fob, I really like that too. So, well, I like it all, but that is it. So thanks for watching, and join me again on the next one.
What about you?
Well, what about me?
You want to grab something?
Everything looks too slippery.
What does that mean?
Well, nothing.